Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the latest review on games people play. Okay, so tell me why they doing a flashback to show us, I guess to set us up, to let us see how things are gonna go. And it's showing Kareem on the court with old dude that's smashing Kareem's mama currently. And I don't want to say his name wrong. I done forgot what his name is. All I know is that he is a snake in the grass and then some. But anyway, it's showing the throwback where he was sitting up there grooming Kareem to be the next big star on the basketball court. So I was like, Lord, go somewhere and sit down. So anyway, then the show actually comes on, right? And we still back 10 years. So they're showing when Kareem and Marcus met. And they were like sharing a dorm room or whatever, roommates. And I'm just like, okay, y'all just gonna give us, you know, But anyway, I think before that they showed what's happening currently. Y'all, I'm sorry, getting tongue tied. Which is they showed Nia and MJ at work, and she's still in her feelings because of Vanessa calling her boyfriend Terrence's name instead of his actual name, which is Eric. And MJ brought up a point wanting to know if she did that on purpose. And she's looking like, why would she do that? And he was like, you know, you never know. So it would make sense for you to just, you know, ask her to see what it is. So nobody knows if it's her actually having a slip up or what. I really don't think it's a slip up, but I don't know. She's been doing a whole lot of shady stuff lately, so ain't no telling. Okay, so we are still in the throwback stage of all this stuff. So they go back to the dorm room, showing us, you know, them trying to get acquainted with one another. Marcus knows all about Kareem, but Kareem knows nothing about him. Apparently, Kareem and his team beat Marcus's team, whatever his high school team was, bad. Marcus put up like maybe 14 points, and Kareem put up like 40 by himself, and they got slaughtered. But anyway, so I hate it, but apparently this is just a part of dorm life, college life. People having ramen. He sat up there and he was talking to him, and he was like, you know, which one do you want? You want shrimp or you want beef? I think he said. And this is Kareem talking to Marcus, and he was like, nah, man, I'm good. So then eventually Marcus asked him, does he want to go out and get burgers? And so he looking at him like, burgers? I ain't got no burger money. And he was like, what? I can't believe it. You over here. He basically tried to make it seem like, you know, however he got in, you know, were they not taking care of him? And he was like, yeah, they're paying for my classes. So yeah, they're taking care of me all right, paying for my classes. And so he was like, man, put that down, I got you. So they're gonna go out and get burgers. So it's funny because what Marcus went to school for is what he really wanted to do in life, y'all. He did, he was going to school, he wanted to, you know, get into computer, well, he wanted to do gaming, he wanted to create games. So he was sitting up there like he really was like nerdy, and for him to be as tall as he is, you know, even Kareem was looking at him like, well, you know, what are you? And he said, what are you, a center? And he was like, nah. He was like, I'm just a wing. And, you know, he was like, I ain't really want to get into all that. And I'm just like, sir, you just here and you just lucky that you got on the team. Was like, oh, okay, they're going to pay for me some tuition. Oh, okay, cool. Which I don't blame him, I ain't mad at him. But he was not even supposed to be here. That's how crazy this is. Like, Marcus really was not even supposed to, well, I don't want to say he's not supposed to be there, but ultimately, you know, he didn't even care about basketball like that. He was just here for the fact that they were giving out scholarships. And he all tall and lanky for no reason. And he wasn't even that good, you know, initially. So that says a lot. But yeah. Kareem was not really here for him like that. He was just looking at him like, yeah, I'm just here for this basketball scholarship. And I feel like he was just there doing what he had to do so that he can, you know, go to the pros. That's what a lot of people do, especially since they don't do the, y'all tell me down in the comment section what it's called. I think what LeBron James went in, he was like the last of all the other people who came in, where they just take you straight out of high school for you to do that. I forgot what they called it, but anyway, I don't think they do that anymore. They stopped doing that a long time ago. You have to go to college. You can't just be like, oh, okay, they scouted me out, I'm going to the pros when it comes to basketball. They don't allow you to do that no more. But yeah. So yeah, y'all. I knew I was gonna forget. I was like, wait a minute, I think I'm forgetting. But yeah, y'all, he was really nerdy. Marcus was nerdy. He did not care nothing about basketball like that. So anyway, back to current day. Current day, Nia is at, not Nia, I'm sorry. Current day, Vanessa is at the house. She's asleep. Nia texts her and she's like, girl, what you doing? I need to talk to you. And so she was like, I'm at the house. You know, I can't talk right now really like that. You know, what's up? So she was like, you know, I need to talk to you in person. And so she was just like, ugh. Anyway, her husband rolled up. And so she looking like, what you doing here? I thought you were, you know, at work, you know, which is, you know, practicing and all that stuff. And so that's when she was like, well, that's when he was like, well, you know, I told him that I didn't feel good or whatever. And he's basically actually trying to make it seem like he's trying to make good on his promise to his wife and to do better. So he was like, you know, I just want to be here with you, spend time with you. And he politely picked up a controller, started playing a video game. And so she was like, oh, that's what you mean by spending time with me. That's what you really meant. And so he was like, no, I can multitask. I'm like, oh gosh. But anyway. So anyway, they ended up talking again, meaning Nia and Vanessa, and she's gonna meet up with her a little bit later on. So they did a throwback that was to 2012, and it showed Vanessa and Marcus in his dorm room. And apparently at his college you can have company or whatever. And she flew in from Connecticut. I don't know where his school was, but anyway, she flew in from Connecticut, and that was supposed to be the weekend that the two of them could spend together. So they're having their moment, and he's playing a video game and sucking at it, and then they start making out. And as soon as they start making out, Kareem comes in with his old flame, which is the ex again. I forgot how to say her name, but it's a lot going on. But yeah, what is it, Quarmisha or something like that? Y'all, I don't know. But anyway, she's there, and apparently he didn't see the sock on the door, which of course means don't come up in here because things might be going on when you pop up in here. So he was like, well, Vanessa was like, who is that? And so he had never even met her, meaning Kareem. He had never even met her. And, you know, of course, Vanessa and Marcus are together. But anyway, that's beside the point. So old girl came down there because, as we found out before, he promised to put her through cosmetology school and all this other stuff. So she came down there by bus that weekend in order to take him, you know, do whatever she was gonna do to him on top of actually cutting his hair. So she's supposed to be, I guess she's supposed to be nice with barbering skills as well. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, her and Vanessa got into it a little bit, and you know, Vanessa was like, you know, she was like, I ain't fly all the way from Connecticut for this. I thought that, you know, we were gonna spend some time together. And so he was like, yeah, it's my weekend. Cause he finally had a weekend. Apparently old girl comes out every weekend, and he never gets the room to himself. And this was like one of the first times he got it to himself. And he was supposed to be able to spend that time with Vanessa. So anyway, Vanessa was like, well, that's okay. Let's just get a room. Let's go get a hotel. And y'all, it's just a lot. I'm tired. Nia and Vanessa meet up present day to discuss whether or not Vanessa actually knew about excuse me, y'all, to see if she actually knew about what was going on as far as her saying Terrence's name instead of Eric, her boyfriend's name, when they were being introduced or whatever. And you know, she just straight up asked her, you know, like, she said, well, MJ has a theory about, you know, what happened with that. And she basically confessed that, yeah, she did it because she saw the post where old girl was just posting selfies with them, putting it on, like, Instagram and all that stuff, making it seem like they're, like, best friends or whatever now. Like, really setting it off. And she, because she was drunk, she didn't even know all this stuff even happened. But she looked like she was enjoying herself, very much so. So I kind of don't blame her, but you know your husband raggedy, so why are you trying to sit up here and be in your feelings that deep? Girl, stop. So to make things right, Nia ended up calling the old girl. Now, before that happened, MJ stumbled into her office and was like, oh, this is the best lunch I ever had. He just came back from having this lunch. He didn't realize Vanessa was in the room. So when he did realize, he was like, oh, hey, V. And then he proceeded to say that she had like 3 missed calls and voicemails from the girl who slept with Vanessa's husband. Y'all, what's her name? Layla. And so since Vanessa was there, she was like, you know, let me just set this stuff straight right now. So she ended up calling Layla, and she told her, you know, Layla answered the phone like, hey girl, what's up, girl? And so she was like, look, I'm not your girl. I'm just calling to set everything straight. I'm not your girl. You slept with my best friend's husband, and we ain't cool like that. And so Layla was like, look, I'm just trying to let you know that me sleeping with him, that didn't mean nothing to me and all this other stuff. And so she was like, well, that meant something to my best friend though. And Vanessa kept chiming in. I was like, girl, if you don't go somewhere and sit down. But yeah, she was like, well, if there's anything I could ever do to prove to you that it meant nothing to me or whatever, just to make it up to you, I'm willing to do it. And so Vanessa told her to go to hell. I was like, oh gosh. No. Apparently, when Layla was in school, she used to get bullied or whatever, and girls would just, while she'd be walking down the hall, they would just talk crazy to her. Y'all let me know down in the comment section if I heard this right. Apparently, one of them said that she was fat, was calling her fat, and they put all kinds of stuff on her locker. And some guy came along who was interested in her and wasn't interested in them, and so all of them was hating. And she went on by her business. I was like, oh, okay, what is that about? But yeah, I guess she didn't have that great of self-esteem or whatever, and had been bullied and teased and all that stuff. So I think maybe she used to be big, but now she's not. So I was like, okay, y'all, I just cannot with people who tease people because they fat. And I'm like, look, I got teased for being fat, and I'm like, I'm not bothering y'all. Like, that's stupid to me. And I've always been told that even though I have the size that I have a shape. So it was like, for people to tease me the way they did, it seemed as though they were more jealous than anything, because I have booty, I have thighs, I have, you know, a decent shape, and I have like a small-ish waist, considering all of that. Especially how I carry it now. It's like way more than what it was back then. I wasn't even fat back then. Like, that's the dumb part. But I digress. So anyway, y'all, they just sat up here and took it back to 2013, and Kareem and Marcus are walking and talking. I guess they're coming from practice or somewhere on campus. Look like they're coming from practice. And of course, because of Kareem's position, all the ladies hitting on him and all that, like, whatever. And so after some women went on by their business, because one girl was like, hey, Kareem. I'm like, girl, you don't get somewhere. The thirst is real. And so he was like, you know, what about Quenisha? And so Kareem was like, oh, me and Quenisha have an understanding. I'm just like, go somewhere and sit down. Y'all, tell me why the dude that's sleeping with Kareem's mama came to the campus one day, that same day that I was telling y'all about, when he and him and Marcus, y'all, I don't know what in the world. Y'all, I am so tired, but I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But anyway, him and Marcus, they were coming from practice, and old dude was outside blasting music. And the car that we saw in his mama's house is the same car he sat up there. He was like, car dealerships are throwing cars at us, because he looking at him like, where you get the money from to get this car? And he was like, they're throwing cars at us. I hate people like him who say us. You are not the person. Who are you? Who are you? Like, he really making it seem like he got out there and was doing the work. Like, my thing is, he sees people, he sees what they're doing, and he tries to play tag along like he's done some work. And I'm like, you ain't did nothing. You saw somebody, you saw a sucker, and you sat up there and been trying to benefit ever since. That's all he do. He see somebody and he want to be a leech, and I ain't got time. Y'all, so anyway, in 2012, Layla was in high school, and the guy who she was friends with or whatever, she was talking to him in the library, and he, you know, seems like he's really nice. At least at this moment he does. I'm hoping this is not going to lead up to a terrible situation to make her into the person who she is today, where she sees an opportunity to out you for some money and then she takes advantage of that. But anyway, she wanted to be able to get into acting, and so she sees some sort of one of those Shakespearean plays, and she already knew the lines and all this other stuff, so she was talking about she's doing tryouts. And he was like, oh my gosh, you're gonna do great. And then he invited her somewhere. He was like, well, I want to invite you to this place, and basically trying to congratulate her before she even goes for the audition, making it seem as though she's really going to get it. Like, that's how great she is in his eyes. So she was like, okay, sure. And when he left, she was very excited about that. Y'all, so anyway, present day, oh boy, Marcus. Y'all, he is really hurt. His ankle is messed up. And so Kareem rolled up with all kinds of medicine. And he was like, well, when you got hurt, what did you take? And so he was like, man, are you hurt? And so Marcus was like, man, just answer the question. So he was like, I took Vicodin. And he had Vicodin on the table. And so, you know, I don't know. They ended up doing another flashback, and they're showing Kareem in his feelings. And I'm just like, oh gosh. And the nerdy Marcus, I can't do it. He is so nerdy. Like, no. So the guy who is sleeping with Kareem's mama, y'all, I can't remember if his name is Reggie or whatever, because there are so many people who have crossed over as far as these TV shows are concerned. I can't remember what the man's name is. I'm sorry for that. Y'all let me know that in the comment section. But anyway, he was sitting up there in their dorm room when Marcus came from where he was at. And so he was like, man, I need your help. And him and this other guy was sitting in the corner, y'all. The guy who's sitting in the corner, back in the day, he used to be in all kinds of movies and TV shows, but as of late, in recent years, there's a meme or a gif that goes around of him, and it's of him where he was like that's what he's doing in the meme or whatever, y'all. I can't think of what his name is, but it's a very, very, very popular meme that he, gif, all that. But anyway, he's playing this, y'all, I cannot, like, he's playing this, like, ruffian. And, old dude who's sleeping with Kareem's mama, he in there, and basically what's going on is they want their game to be thrown. They're going up against a really hard team, and even though Kareem has been doing exceptionally well and they have a good chance to be able to beat them, they want, them to shave points off, not necessarily lose, but shave off points, because if you're going to throw these games and they have people betting on it on the side, on the low, under the table, people like that guy, if you are saying, I feel like they're going to top out at this amount or whatever of points, and you get that closer, you get right on a nail right on the head, then you get more money or a bigger, piece of the pot or whatever, y'all. So Marcus is not here for it. Like, Marcus at this point is a square. He is not here for none of that. He was like, I don't want no parts of this. And so it got to the point where he was about to leave, and old boy was like, well, what about Kareem? If it wasn't for Kareem, you still be riding that pine. I hate people like him. I cannot, like, y'all, the way he played his role, it just seemed like this is him in real life. Like, I can't do it. He getting on my nerves. I'm so tired. So, y'all, it gets to a point where everybody leave, and the dude that was sitting in the corner, who basically is the boss over the guy who's screwing Kareem's mama, y'all, I can't. He walk out the door and he gives Marcus a handful of money to myself. This is for, hearing me out, giving me, lending me your ear. And I'm just looking like, y'all, Marcus is not here for it. Well, as I feared, and I ended up being right about, Layla was raped by that guy. He seemed like he was all nice and cool, and he invited her to that little gathering, that party, and when they were leaving, he was kissing on her, and he immediately started to turn into stranger danger, and he raped her. So that's why a couple of episodes back, when they went to that, slut walk, and that woman gave that speech and had everybody to recite something, that's why she became the way she did and started crying. But yeah, that man raped her. That boy, whatever he was, raped her. So I was really hoping I was wrong, but I wasn't. So now we are in the thick of things where they are showing Marcus and Kareem playing against that team, and the game is supposed to kind of be thrown. So Kareem is holding up his end of the bargain, and instead of making it look more and more like he is throwing the game, he did certain movements to make it seem like the other team, did something to him, or he did something in order to be sat out. They had him sit out of the game. So then they ended up putting Marcus in the game. So Marcus, even though he knew what the situation was, at first he was kind of, slow to come around, but he ended up actually sinking three-point shots and all that, and looked like he might actually bring them back. And of course, the people who are using Kareem and Marcus are not happy about that, because they have money on the line. They always are about their bottom dollar, and it's just a lot going on, y'all. So anyway, now we're back to current day, because I told you this is one of those episodes they're doing back and forth. You're in the future, where you're in the present, and then 1 minute you're in the present, 1 minute you're in the past, 1 minute you're in the present, 1 minute you're in the past. So now we are in the present, and Kareem and Marcus are at Marcus's house playing video games. So then the woman who speaks on behalf of the NBA or whatever came to the house, and she was like, oh, so this is what you're doing? Because like I told y'all earlier, he took off so that he could spend time with his wife and prove to her that he really is dedicated to her and being the man he should have been being a long time ago, instead of cheating on her day in and day out. So then, she was like, oh, this is what you're doing with your time off? And I'm like, oh gosh. So Marcus decided to stick with what he was doing, and he ended up winning the game. And so everybody was mad at Kareem. So the game was over with. Marcus got all the shine. He had all this national coverage. He had amazing people reporting on him, and old dude that's screwing his mama currently rolled up on him and was like, what did you do? You over here doing all this. What is the problem? You just lost a lot of people a lot of money. And so that man, who was basically his boss, was looking at him like, and walked off, right? Man, tell me why. Even his mama rolled up on him and was like, what's up with you filing out at the last minute? There's so many people watching you. You worked so hard. We have worked so hard to get you to the point where you were at, whatever. I'm just like, oh Lord, y'all. Anyway, so then he leaving out. Y'all, tell me why that man who is over the shady dude, he sat up here and ran Kareem over and had tore his knee down. I'm talking about the way they had that scene. It looked like that was really real. It looked very much so real. Like he got ran over in real life. I was like, oh my gosh. And so he was like, oh my God. Somebody call the police. Somebody call the police. He kept holding his knee. At first I wasn't laughing because I was like, oh my gosh. But then he just started overacting. I was like, oh my gosh, stop doing this, sir. You making me laugh too much. But yeah, that man tore his knee down. That's why his career is over, because of that guy. And Marcus ended up where he was supposed to be. And he never gotten caught up with that guy. He should have cut him off at the pass. Once he first started seeing signs of him acting the way he started acting, he should have been like, look, man, I don't want no parts of this. I'm not doing none of that. He should have never agreed to none of this stuff. He should have figured out a way. I don't care if you had to get the police involved. That man would have been in jail first before having to deal with me. And I know that with some situations, people will sit up here and they'll be like, oh, you from the hood and you set my buddy up and now we coming after you. I'd rather that than sit up here and have to fight. He basically has been fighting his whole life with this man, trying to get from under him. So it's the same difference. He might have killed you back then. He might have done what he, like, literally, he still got wounded. His career is over. So he gained nothing when he could have just gone to the police or did something a long time ago. So there are a few things that you got to take notes on. Y'all excuse this lipstick. It's time to take it off, so don't don't come for me. But anyway, because of what happened to Layla at a young age, she basically went through the same emotions that I did when I was raped. I felt dead inside, and I allowed things to happen to me, and I kind of felt like I had no purpose, and it seemed like the only reason a man would look at me was for sex. So I ultimately just felt dead inside. They showed a scene where some man was on top of her pumping away, and she was just laying there, and like he was getting his life, and I was just like, why is that appealing to you? Where she really is looking like she's dead on the inside. Like, she's very beautiful, but she just looked like I'm just here. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Y'all had a flashback when I saw that. Also, some things that I knew I was gonna forget, but I was like, let me remember, because I know I'm forgetting something. So the way that Nia and Vanessa met was kind of crazy, because they had a class together, a random class in college together, and Nia was walking throughout the classroom before their teacher entered, and she had flyers, and basically she was staging a walkout at 12 o'clock noon, and it was in, protest of something happening to some African-American teacher or whatever, right? And so when she got to Vanessa's desk, Vanessa was like, oh, I'm not a African-American studies student. And so she was like, excuse me? She was like, oh, I'm pre-law. I ain't got nothing to do with this, and something like this could ruin my reputation, and I don't want nothing to, mess me up, because she was trying to keep her grades up, do what she needed to do in order to eventually get into Harvard Law School. So she ended up giving her a flyer anyway. So when the time came, everybody except like a select few white students and like one black guy and her were still sitting there. So everybody had gotten up. She thought about it, because before Nia walked away from her, she was like, just think about it, because you would want somebody to do this if this were you in this situation. Now, if she wasn't treated fairly, given the fact that she's African American, she would, appreciate students doing something like this on behalf of her. So she thought about it, and she left out late, but she left. So then Nia was like at the door. She was like, I knew you would do it. So they ended up introducing themselves. Then later on, they ended up pledging together. So when they were crabs, they ended up doing little stupid stuff, hazing them and all this other stuff, having them do their laundry and all this other stuff. Y'all, I can't. I don't even want to go into that. I might do a random video on my thoughts, or do a story time about sorority life. But y'all, I would never be able to do it. So one of the things that happened was they, became friends, of course, after that happened. One day it was like a really, really big tournament that Marcus was going to be a part of. And even though he wasn't playing that much of a major role at the time, they ended up taking him off the bench. So when all that stuff happened with Kareem trying to throw the game, and then he fouled out towards the end of the game, and they ended up putting Marcus in, and Marcus, brought him back. People started really looking at him, and they were looking like, where have they been hiding this guy? Like, y'all, I have not watched basketball in so long. The guy who was interviewing him, he actually is like a real sports caster. And I don't even remember what his name is anymore. I don't think it's Brian. I don't know, y'all. Anyway, but yeah, a lot of this stuff molded how things are now, and it's so crazy. It got to the point where Vanessa had been out all day and Marcus was still at home, and the conversation that he had with the woman who represents the NBA, she ended up telling him that, he should have done what he normally does. They have eyes on him. They are really, really watching him very closely. And he should not have missed practice, because that's looking bad on him. He should have kept everything the way he normally keeps it. And so he ultimately got a criminal lawyer. And so he told her, they said that you should get one too. So she was just like, oh my gosh, this is bad. We're, he was like, don't worry about it, whatever. And I'm just like, oh gosh, why you keep saying don't? He always telling her not to worry about something. I just want to know if they did it or not. Like, this is really too much. What happened with her actually traveling to his game back in the day, that kind of defined how he is now in the position that he's in, is crazy, because they basically had to kind of sneak out and go to New York, because they were in Connecticut, had to go to New York and be back by the morning. And so Nia was like, well, there's a Trayvon Martin, some kind of Trayvon Martin, gathering that they were doing. Like, it was a big thing. A lot of people got arrested. She even got arrested that night, while Vanessa was at the game supporting her man and all that good stuff. It was such a big moment. She was probably shown on TV with him a little bit. And that's actually when she really first started seeing the groupies, because nobody paid attention to him at all. He ain't nothing but a tall, lanky guy. Nobody cared about him. He's very nerdy. And then all of a sudden, when he came out of nowhere and brought the team back, he gave her a hug. And when she was done with that, he ended up having people bombarding him, all these young girls. I was like, oh, can I have your autograph? And that's when she kind of was looking like, what's going on over here? Oh, okay. Like, that's when all of that, his head got boosted up for real ever since then. So, y'all, I just can't. But yeah, anyway, the following morning, Nia was able to get out. But anyway, before that even happened, Nia was sprung. She was like, well, who paid my bail? Because I don't know who she contacted, and if she contacted anybody, but of course, Terrence is the one who sprung her. And so he was like, well, is there anywhere that you need to be, anywhere I can take you? And so she was like, yeah, can you take me to Connecticut? And he was like, yeah, sure. So ended up taking her to Connecticut, and both of them were able to basically get back to Connecticut to school and all that, so they can be back in time for their hazing to continue, because with their sorority and all that good stuff. But it was funny, because one of the women asked Nia, was there something that she had to say? And she was like, no. She was like, anything you need to tell me? She was like, no, except for Vanessa. And so one of the other ladies was like, well, that was a good game last night. So she was like, yes, it sure was. And so she was like, if your man happens to go pro, I want tickets. I want courtside tickets or something like that. And so she was like, yes, big sister, whatever her name was. And I was just like, oh, Lord. So she didn't get reprimanded because her man might go pro and be able to, give them some good tickets. And I'm just like, so yeah, you're going to get in because of that. But anyway, y'all, that was all that happened, y'all. I hope y'all have a nice night, and I'll talk to y'all and see y'all later. Bye.